Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, a hearty good Tuesday morning to you on this JP Peterson Show. We thank you guys so much for jumping in. And once again, we got huge news. We got breaking news. Oh, so much to get to. That's why we do this each and every day, 2 hours for you Tampa Bay sports thirsty people. I am joined by, as always, as usual, by IndyCar Tim and our Dallas affiliate, DSP Media. Good morning to you, my friend, in the freezing cold of Dallas.
Man, it's in the 40s here in Dallas this morning. I was driving into the studio with my sunroof open, like I always do. Whether it's cold or hot, I always have my sunroof open because I love it.
Yeah,
but, dude, I got my hoodie on this morning for the first time this season.
Okay,
still wearing shorts and ankle socks. We won't have to show my legs or anything, but
of course,
it's a little chilly in the studio this morning. I had to get my little space heater going.
Hey, it was like 60 here in Tampa Bay.
Wow, that's
oh my
cold
God, yeah.
Tampa.
We get up into 30s in the upper county this past weekend. So yeah, it's winter.
Wow.
It's full on winter here in Tampa. But things are hot when it comes to the Rays and the city and county commission. We're not going to spend all day on this, folks, but obviously it's a huge, huge story. We had breaking news yesterday, a strongly worded letter. You always know when a strongly worded letter is received, things are getting serious. So the Rays are up in the bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded. What are they going to do? So we'll hit that here in just a second. We will definitely get to the Bolts in our first segment. I was at Amalie Arena last night doing my thing, and it was, it's fun to do that intermission when you got 5 goals to talk about. Right. Like that's, sometimes, I go into the intermission when I talk back and forth with our editor, Zach, and I'm like, how about some Vasi saves? Nothing happened there. So we'll do some Vasi saves in a nothing period. And then, but last night we're like, you know what? Let's not even show the Colorado goal. We got 5 of our own. Let's go. So it was a first period explosion by the Bolts and a huge, huge night for Brandon Hagel. So we're going to get to that in our first segment and tell you what we learned about the Lightning last night that I think is very, very positive. And of course, we'll be talking big time Bucs with our good friend Scott Reynolds as we do each and every Tuesday. He will join us at 10:30, and TJ Reeves will join us in our second hour. So that's a show. That's a fun show. And of course, Tim will have his usual snarky comments. We'll talk a little Monday Night Football last night.
Damn, y'all can't even get one stadium built. We built 3.
It's so true. It's so true. Well, we didn't have a problem getting it. Well, I shouldn't say that. The football stadium was a little dicey too. But this has just been, and it, as you know, if you watch this show, to me, it's the one constant has always been Stu. And, it's very similar if you go back to 2019 or 2018, 2019, when they announced the Ybor Stadium, it was still the same fanfare, right? We got a deal. We got a deal done. We're moving forward. The Rays will be here for generations to come. We love Ybor City. This is Tampa where we've always wanted to be, blah, 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 blah. But when it came down to writing checks, Stu was out. He was out. He didn't want to pay his half. And of course came up with his narrative. Oh, there was no corporate support. Bold-faced lie. I was part of that Raise 100 group. We put up 160 million in pledges, and that was without a stadium. So just silly. Wow. Hillsborough didn't have any money. Wrong again. I'm not going to sit here and say the deal was buttoned up as it should have been. It was not. But over time, it was a great framework to work with. He could have moved forward with it. The two sides could have come together. A willing owner. And that deal gets done. No, like every other deal in America, right? It gets done. Yeah. But when you're dealing with Stu, it's a whole different deal. And then we're back to St. Pete. Then we're doing the 2-city thing, which was complete disaster. And Major League Baseball shut him down on that because it was never going to work. And that was a complete facade anyway, just to kill more time on the stadium stuff while he continues to stuff his pockets in Tropicana Field. Yes, he makes tons of money, folks. That's another false narrative that has always been promulgated. So, and that's not according to me. That's according to Forbes and many other learned folks. And the fact that he has one of the lowest payrolls and makes over $300 million in revenues every year. So all that aside, we come to St. Pete, and it's the same deal. We got a deal. Yay, generations to come. Yay, we love St. Pete now because you're giving us all the money. And then in the end, it's not a deal, which is why we predicted here the stadium will never be built. And it's not going to be built. And you can see it by the report from yesterday. So I think it's instructive for us to, peruse the letter that was sent yesterday by Chair Peters of the county commission and signed off on by the mayor, who also agreed with the strongly worded letter, and the city council. I think everybody is in complete agreement to this letter that was sent. And forgive me, but I need to read some of this for you. Dear Mr. Alden, Mr. Silverman, in light of recent events, conversations, and correspondence, it has become imperative that the clarity be achieved as to the status of the Rays Stadium development and funding agreement. I am requesting that you officially declare your intention regarding this agreement and whether you intend to see it come to fruition. As you know, the agreement requires the Rays to pay all cost overruns. The agreement was signed by both parties, including Mr. Silverman as president of the Rays Stadium Company, LLC. 3 months later, on the night before the county commission meeting to approve the bonds, Commissioner Scott called Rays President Brian Auld to ask that he make a public statement reaffirming commitment to the agreement and that the Rays would do what was necessary to try and remain locally to play. Okay, this is the smoking gun that I've referred to. Not only did Mr. Auld remain silent to quell concerns from the public, but he went on to complain to the commissioner that the Rays' revenue was down and that anticipated project costs going up were putting the project in jeopardy. Again, this was the night before the vote. Now, you saw the piece in the Sunday paper that said, oh, we were totally taken out of, we didn't see anything coming. There was no trouble with this. But yet the day before, Auld is admitting to the commissioner that he's doing everything he can to hold the deal together. So, again, a lot of disinformation. I continue. This again on the day before the commission met to vote issuing the bonds. Therefore, the notion that it was the county that, quote, killed the deal is categorically false based on the Rays president's own statements prior to the county's action. This is very important, this smoking gun, very important. They continue. No representative of the Rays attended the October 29th meeting. As a result of the uncertainty relating to where the Rays might play in 2025, the county commission deferred consideration of the supplemental bond resolution until 3 weeks later on November 19th to obtain greater clarity from the Rays. Hours before the November 19th county commission meeting to consider legislative action on the supplemental bond resolution, you sent a letter to the county commission stating that the county's failure to finalize the bonds last month ended the ability for a 2028 delivery of the ballpark. The statement is contrary to the terms of the agreement that provide for no specific time frame for the county's action on the bonds, but allow for required actions of the Rays prior to the county's obligation to offer bonds for sale to be accomplished as late as March 31st, 2025. That was the deadline, folks. The supplemental bond resolution is but one of many conditions precedent to the offering of the county bonds. I won't bore you with that stuff. The county, presuming the Rays were to meet their required conditions, precedent, and time, still has adequate time to have bonds offered for sale consistent with the only applicable time limitation in the agreement, which we noted above. Therefore, foregoing quoted statement in your letter is contrary to the clauses within the agreement which the Rays negotiated and executed just months prior to said letter. Again, you want to read certain places that the Rays are pointing the finger at the county and the city and everybody else, but the bottom line from the agreement is there still has been no deadline violated. The only thing the county was asking for was some clarity. They had 2 hurricanes, and they were actually considering not taking out the bonds, but paying it up front and just giving the Rays all the money up front. And they needed time to figure out if they were going to renourish the beaches, and they needed money for that. These are all reasonable things that a willing owner would have said, oh, cool. Yeah, we can wait a little bit on that. And to say that, and why you would set some, irrevocable plan in place, the Rays are claiming, about moving people here and doing construction costs and all these things before the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed, that's your own fault, if it's indeed true, which I don't think it is. So to me, this just reeks of the Rays trying to get out of the deal. And that's exactly what we expected, and that is what's happening. So what's going on right now is, I'll continue reading. While the both attended the county commission meeting on November 19th, both refused to speak to answer clarifying questions of the board. Nevertheless, 2 days later, President Auld spoke at the St. Pete Council meeting, making it clear that the current agreement is, quote, dead due to the Rays' assumed omniscience about votes that had not been taken, and indicated that the Rays were willing to negotiate something other than the current agreement. The November 19, 2024 letter approaches being an inelegantly stated notice of termination pursuant to Section 3.6 of the agreement. The county is scheduled to move forward to consider legislatively adopting the supplemental bond resolution. The county can be in position to offer its bonds for sale. In other words, they're going forward. It said, as your November 19th letter makes several statements that are demonstratively false. Demonstratively false. But in some places, they're taken as gospel, as reflected in the terms of the agreement itself. And as explained in this letter, President Auld made public comments in other settings that the agreement is dead. So basically, they're now asking for the Rays to declare in writing that it is indeed dead. Now, to that, they did not require anything in writing. They sent back a very vague answer saying, we are eager to work with all partners on a solution for the 2029 season that keeps Major League Baseball in Tampa Bay for generations to come. So once again, it's the Rays, and they are the ones violating the agreement. They said they would pay for cost overruns. They were the ones that went to the council the day before the delay vote that the Rays said took them totally by surprise. And they are the ones that have killed this deal, not the county and the city. And the subtext to this is many believe that the Rays don't want to put it in writing because if they do, then they won't. It'll be much harder for them to get their $500, $600, $700 million windfall from the real estate development. So this is the legal game they're playing, trying to force the hand of the county and city. Say, look, you guys got to make the votes. So if they agree to the bonds, then it goes into a situation where the Rays could say, sure, we'll do the deal, but we're not paying our part. We're not doing this. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this, and just make it a complete cluster. And now they want a payoff to get out of this deal. It was what it looks like to me. That's my opinion. That's the opinion of many legal people who have looked at this, and the opinion of many of the commissioners and city councilmen. So again, this is a showdown. And what it tells you is this: the Rays are the ones that have not been good partners in any of these stadium operations, and they keep blaming everybody else. But I think everybody that can read and really figure this out, read the letter and read what's coming out of the city and the county, not necessarily what's coming out in media, that the Rays are the issue here. And I don't know how this is going to end in terms of who gets what in St. Pete, but I do know this: that stadium is not being built. It is dead, and there's no way of resuscitating. So now it's just a pissing match between Pinellas, the city, and the Rays as to who's going to get the redevelopment rights. And I don't think Major League Baseball wants to be sitting here trying to say what Stu Sternberg and the Rays are doing is morally or ethically correct in his deal. And they can keep arguing back and forth on it, but I think it's pretty obvious to everybody by the agreement, not by what the Rays say or with the money we spend and you guys did this and men in it. But none of that matters. It's what's in the agreement. It's legal. And what the Rays are doing is trying to circumvent that, get the money from the real estate deal, and move on for 2029 with anybody in the area. Which brings us to the next point of this whole thing. And it continues, and I got multiple text messages yesterday. And again, I'm not reporting that there's a deal done in Tampa. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we are hearing that there are powerful political forces in place, or former powerful political forces in place, working with the TSA, the Tampa Sports Authority. Ken Hagel had a meeting with the mayor the other day, the Sports Authority. They're putting their ducks in a row. They would not be doing this unless they knew there was a group out there, and I've been telling you about these groups for a while, that wanted to buy the Rays and move them to Tampa. So now, will this get done? I don't know. I can just tell you that it's the most obvious thing. You can do the math. MLB does not want to move the team out of this market. We've talked about that. They're not moving this team out of the market. Again, a false narrative that has been thrown out there, but Manfred keeps saying they're not moving the team. I know what comes out of his mouth isn't always 100% true. I get that. I'm not naive. But the numbers, the money has always pointed to Tampa. And at this particular point, with this deal falling apart and the aggressiveness of Ken Hagel and others and what they're talking about, it tells me and the rumblings underneath that there are people very interested in buying this team, and Major League Baseball's desire to get this done, and the fact that Steinbrenner Field is going to be in play and it's going to be amazingly successful. It all points to one thing, and I can't tell you who the owner is going to be. I can't tell you what site it's going to be on, but I still believe in my heart, as I've always believed, that this deal is going to get done in Tampa at some point. That's what I believe. I'm not reporting it. That's what I believe. Okay? For all you people that want to go through my text messages and tweet and former tweets and all this other bull crap, this is what I've said all along. And I was the only one to tell you that this deal was going to fall apart and it would come back to Tampa. I told you they were going to play in Steinbrenner Field. So you want to keep coming at me with things I've gotten wrong? Well, I've gotten a lot right. So that's where this stands as of now. And again, I think it's an eye-opening experience for many of you to see that the Rays are the ones that once again are the issue. It's not the three mayors that they've worked with coming before. It's not all the people that they worked with in Tampa on that deal. It's not the people in Montreal. It's not any of that. It's the constant. It's the Rays that can't get it done for whatever reason. And probably just they don't want to spend any money at all. They just want to make money. That's always been their MO. And that's what we're dealing with. So hopefully new ownership is on the way. If Major League Baseball has anything to say about it. Does that make sense?
Crossing our fingers. Crossing our fingers.
Sense to you, my friend?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did we catch everybody up on that?
It just shouldn't be this hard.
It shouldn't be this hard. It just should not be that
I keep
hard.
saying it.
Yes.
We keep saying it.
Couple quick comments on this before we move on to the Bolts. I think the Rays want us to feel this way and want us to get burnt out and throw our hands up and say, whatever. St. Pete and Tampa are now cornering Stu, and he's getting feisty like a wild animal. It's a good visual right there. Rick says Stu is the guy who goes out to eat and drink with the fellas and forgets his wallet. I'll get you guys next time. Skate park rental on me. Rick, you're the best. You're the best. Nathan Elliott says Rays taking offers from Tampa and other cities around the country to move the team. Sternberg is taking offers from groups to sell the team. Which one happens first? It depends on which offer is best. Nathan, I'm here to tell you, buddy, they're not moving the team out of Tampa Bay. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. Listen to the commissioner. Do the math. The other owners get nothing. They get a smaller relocation fee if the Rays relocate, but then the Rays will be taking a possible expansion market that they could leverage against each other to get the expansion dollars, which will probably be $2 billion. So it makes and the owners have to agree this. Stu can't just sell the team to the highest bidder and then move it. The owners have to agree. Why would they agree to that? To lose money and do a favor for Stu? That is not where the owners are. Trust me on this. So will you please, all of you, stop with this? It's just silly. And there are no Major League Baseball stadiums waiting to be filled, as far as I know. They can't get one built in Las Vegas. And these municipalities have no, it's great that you have groups saying, we want baseball in Nashville. Well, where's the money? Where's the money? None of them have owners willing and ready to go. None of them have stadiums really willing and ready to go. So it's just not that simple.
Football and hockey barely work in Nashville right now.
Right. So let's just calm your
tits.
Calm your tits. Thank you for saying. JW says the Rays clearly already have a backup plan. You don't sabotage a deal like this until you already have another plan. To a degree, I agree with that. I think they do know that there is either a sale coming, a very lucrative sale by Stu, or they're going to get a lucrative deal in Tampa. One or the other. I just don't think the folks in Tampa really want to work with Stu, but maybe they'll be working with someone in Major League Baseball instead. That will get your job done. Thomas Casper says MLB has at least $100 million in the St. Pete Stadium that requires due diligence. Not sure what that means, to be quite honest, partner. RJ Martin, MLB commissioner, should tell Stu that he either comes to an agreement with the city and county or sells the team. Yep. I think that's pretty much in the offing.
I think we're all hoping for the sell the team part.
Yes. And Lonnie says, will the touch tank at Steinbrenner get replaced with a skate park? I don't think so. Here's the deal, by the way, and here's some really good news. So the Rays have traded series with the Angels and the Twins. So they're going to play more games in April and May and less games in June and July. This is a great thing. So 35 of their 51 games in July and August will be on the road. I think the players will be fine with that. 37 of their 58 first 58 games are at home in March, April, and May, which is awesome. So hopefully you can get off to a good start. They get to play on the grass, which the players love. Don't forget the players hated the Trop as a park to play in. It killed their knees. Tough hitters park. Yeah. All that good stuff comes to fruition playing outside.
And it wasn't just the Trop. I mean, baseball players hate artificial surface wherever it is.
Exactly. They hate it.
It still boggles my mind that they played on carpet in the 70s. Carpet. It wasn't even artificial turf.
Nasty carpet.
It was carpet on top of concrete with no padding in between. Yeah. That's all Texas Stadium was, JP, for the entire, because I played on that surface.
Yeah, me too.
It was concrete. When you could hear the concrete under the turf if you knocked on it. It was ridiculous.
We played either an all-star game. AAU would just used to call something different in Florida, or a high school football. I forget, but at Mark Light Stadium in Miami, the Hurricanes had an artificial surface, and the first ground ball I took at third base. Good thing I was wearing a cup, because that was way different. That thing got on me like a freaking bullet. It hit that stuff. It was just like, oh.
I mean, I used to hate as much as we enjoyed watching the Big Red Machine in the 70s, because that was all you could watch on national TV because they were good and that's what they put on national TV. I used to hate watching them play baseball there, and you hit a little blooper into shallow center field and it bounces another 5 stories after it hits that carpet. You know, I was like, why is it bouncing so high? It's like a rubber ball.
It's a blooper, and Cesar Geronimo is backing up in center field because he's got to wait for the ball to hit and bounce 50 feet in the air.
Oh, so
George
ridiculous.
Foster is like, I'm not moving. I'm going to have to wait for this to come to me. And guys would get doubles out of that. Yeah. They would, get out of the box and get doubles out of that. Yeah.
They had that in St. Louis. They had that in Cincinnati, Philadelphia, all those.
Baseball was never meant to be played on that crap. Ever. And Kyle Tucker told me that. He said when he plays at the Trop, of course, the Astros MVP candidate, he said when he played at the Trop, he has to ice his knees for like an hour after the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he says, I said, you ever going to come play in Tampa? He's going, not in that park. No. And that's why, it's always, not only did we not want to pay free agents, they didn't want to come here. So it's like they would look at Tampa and go, if they would ever spend money, which at this point, good luck with that with this ownership group. It's like, wow, this is an attractive place to play. It's going to be packed. It's going to be in a great stadium. And by the way, people keep calling, Steinbrenner a minor league stadium. It's a better stadium than the Trop, if you ask me. It's a way better stadium. The seating is better. It points towards home plate, which is nice. They have luxury boxes. They've got premium seating, not to the level Tropicana Field has, but when they spruce it up, it'll be a better park just because it looks
better on TV too.
It's better located. It looks better on TV, and it'll be packed. It'll be packed. There won't be a mausoleum. It'll be packed. So a much better. And somebody asked me, you think they can play there for 3-4 years? Yeah, I think they can. If they're getting a stadium built in Tampa, why would you not? Move them to another market? That's stupid. No, you keep them in an intimate place. You have packed houses every night. You can up that seating to maybe 14, 15,000, maybe a little bit more. There's room to do it. So if it's a 3-4 year deal, you would invest a little bit of money to get more seats in there and do a few things that would pay off. No question. So yeah, make it your home while you're building next door by Raymond James Stadium, wherever it's going to be.
Where the old ballpark was.
Yeah, where the old ballpark is. It's just people, you can't play in a minor league stadium. It's not, it's not Al Lang.
They've been doing that for 20 years.
Yeah, that's a major league stadium because the Yankees play there in the spring training, and the Yankees don't do anything half-ass. They've got all the air-conditioned batting cages and all the stuff that the players want and need. Huge clubhouse, all the amenities they need. It's more than fine to host a team for a few years while they build in the marketplace. So let's not go crazy about a minor league stadium. It's better than your major league stadium. That
beautiful
rinky-dink
stadium.
Thing. Yes.
Minor league stadiums are so intimate. I love I've talked about it on this show before with our Frisco Rough Riders here, the AA affiliate of the Rangers. It's that is such an evening out, man. It is an experience. It's not just about the game. It's about the park, as close as you are to the players and the other fan. Dude, it's just amazing. It's a great experience.
And as far as revenues go, they're not going to, I hate people, they're going to take a huge hit in revenues. They average 16,000 folks.
Yeah.
And you can you'll probably get more for the tickets. If you're going to expand to 14, 15,000, you're almost close to your average anyway. Yeah. And don't forget, ticket sales are not a huge part of the Rays revenue structure anyway. It's more about local TV, national TV, central fund revenue sharing. So again, a false narrative. Oh, they're going to take a huge hit in revenue. No, they're not. All right, let's move over to the Bolts. What a game last night. They come out with 5 in the first. And Brandon Hagel, I mean, I don't think we talk enough about Brandon Hagel. I don't think we talk enough about Anthony Cirelli. And listen to this game last night. So 4 assists in the first period, one of only 14 players to do that in the first period, including Lemieux, Gretzky. Who was the other big name I had written down? Anyway, the big names. Bobby Orr, which Hagel, Cooch asked Hagel after the first period, what are you, Bobby Orr? Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am tonight. 5 assists ties a franchise record for the game. But it wasn't just the 5 assists. It's the way he did it. He assisted on the power play twice.
4 assists in the first period, tying an NHL record. Yeah.
Yes, ties an NHL record.
Yeah.
He assisted on the power play, assisted on the shorthanded goal that Glendening got. So he had 2 power play assists, a 5 and 2 5-on-5 assists that were absolutely phenomenal. And he's also on the shutdown line that got Nathan McKinnon -3 on the night and 0 shots on goal. Is there anything else he did? I think he served a couple of hot dogs and a few soft serves at halftime or at intermission. It was ridiculous. This guy did it all last night. Yeah, he's been. I mean, what a night for this cat, and what a night for the Lightning as well. It was just, and this is an Avs team that just destroyed the Panthers the other night. Had won 6 or 7, 3 in a row. It's a really good Avs team that had most of their players. McKinnon, McCarr, all of them played last night. Cooch had a goal and 2 assists. I mean, and Mikey Asimont was fantastic last night. Had 5 shots on goal. Finally got his first goal of the year, which is nice to get that monkey off your back. Glendening got his first goal of the year. The power play was 2 for 2, and they mixed it up last night, moving Cooch to the left side and moving guys around. So I like that. It's a different look. They weren't ready for it. They were 2 for 2 on the power play. They were 3 for 3 on the penalty kill against the great Avs power play, including a shorty. I mean, did I leave anything out? And maybe the best part of the game is after they get a 5-1 lead, what do they do in the second period where they normally flop? They allow 4 shots on goal and extend their lead to 6-1 and get an 8-2 win. That's about as complete a performance against a really good team that you could have in an NHL game. I mean, that was an ass kicking.
You want a little piece of trivia from last night?
Yes, I would love a piece of trivia, my friend.
Anthony Cirelli scored for the 6th consecutive game to become the 6th player in franchise history to record a goal in at least 6 straight games. Who are the other 5, JP?
Well, I know one's Brian Bradley, and he has the record of 8 tied with Kucherov because he came up and showed it to me on the graphic.
Figured he would. Here you go. Stamkos, Kucherov, Bradley, Point, and LeCavalier.
Very nice. Look at you with the graphic right there. Yeah. That's some Lightning royalty right there.
It is.
That is some Lightning royalty.
That's your Mount Rushmore right there, huh?
Yeah. and think about this. Cirelli, not only 6 games in a row, but again, he's on the shutdown line as well, doing it all. So while we talk, so what does this mean? Well, the Lightning now have 24 points after 20 games, so they're on pace for 96 points, which gets you in the playoffs every single time. So that's good. So they're a playoff team. Are they a Stanley Cup team? Not yet. But they certainly, they're improving. I think they've got to find a little bit more depth scoring and maybe shore up. The defense is not, The top two pairs are great. Probably the bottom pair, not the best, but they don't play a lot in the playoffs anyway. Right. So are they close? Yeah, I think they're really, really close. And I think they're getting better. But are they there yet? I don't think so.
I mean, you went on that 4-game road trip. I think you'd take 3-1, right? If as they're leaving, you're like, will you take a 3-1 road trip? Absolutely, I would. Uh-huh. Just showing improvement from this team all around. They're like you said, they've struggled in the second period, shutting down big periods that they had in the first. It's taking time. They're showing strides though. I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Yep, I think
John
they're
Cooper's
in the mix.
In a good spot.
They're in the mix, and they just got to keep getting better and better, and just learn how to close out games. I think that's kind of been their Achilles heel, where they've, had taken a lot of games to the third period, tied, and not come out with points. And that's something you got to.
If you're looking at the standings, you're only a point behind Florida, and you're 4 points behind Toronto for the division lead in the Atlantic. So
yeah, you're right. You're right on pace to where you need to be. So that's all good. In a season where you've made a lot of changes and you thought the first 20 games might be a little rough, you're on pace to be in the playoffs. And I think
you're beating the good teams.
Yes. And it's a great point. You're beating good teams and you're moving forward, right? You're getting better every week. I think we see that.
Yeah.
So again, good that the Lightning are making strides and moving forward. All right, we'll take our first break. When we come back, Scott Reynolds is going to join us from the Pewter Report, and we're going to jump into all things Buccaneers. Very interesting Alex Anzalone tweet came out yesterday I want to talk about regarding Mr. Baker Mayfield's celebration, and so much more to get to on the Buccaneers. The injury to Jordan Whitehead may be more significant than we first thought. So we'll talk about that, the ramifications there. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES Lawgroup.com. We are in the Jeeves Law Group studio as we speak here right now. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. If you have any issues with your homeowner's insurance and claims, they can talk about that, whatever. Get a free case evaluation at the Jeeves Law Group. Back in 3. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES Lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES Lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing, reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here on this Tuesday, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. Let them shop your homeowners, your auto insurance, your business insurance around. You save all the money. They do all the work. That's a good deal. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. All right, let's welcome in our good buddy from the Pewter Report. Each and every Tuesday, we chat with this handsome lad and that great head of hair. He is the great Scott Reynolds. What's up, partner? How are you?
How are you? Doing good.
Outstanding. That's the Bucs on Sunday and the Bolts on Monday.
Yeah.
Those are two ass kickings.
Yeah.
Now the Bolts did it against a pretty good team.
Yeah.
The Bucs maybe not, but we'll take it. Any blowout in the NFL is a good blowout because anything can happen on any given Sunday. What's your overall thoughts of that ass kicking?
I think it was a get well game. This team really needed it on both sides of the ball. With Mike Evans back, we saw a return of 30-point games, which was commonplace when Chris Godwin and Mike Evans were around. And Liam Cohen did a good job. 24 against the Falcons, 24 against the Chiefs, 20 against the 49ers. But having Mike back just opened more things up. And the Giants are really bad too, really bad. But then defensively, I think it was even more important for them to really kind of come out and dominate. They held the Giants to just 7 points, got a red zone takeaway, which was good. Levante David forcing a fumble. Surprise. He's had a habit of doing that and getting 4 sacks on Tommy DeVito, and I thought it was important for the Bucs to kind of come out and dominate the first quarter and not let Tommy get into a rhythm and not have that crowd get behind him. And that's exactly what happened. So great execution. We saw Liam Cohen get all 3 running backs the ball on the first drive. 3 carries for Rashad, 3 carries for Sean Tucker, including the touchdown, 3 catches by Bucky Irving. I mean, that's about as perfect distribution of the ball as you could possibly imagine between 3 backs on one drive. So it was a much needed bounce back win, and it gives the Buccaneers some hope and some life down the stretch here.
And with the Falcons being idle for the week and the Bucs putting on a good show, I know they're behind in not just the game behind in the standings, but also in the head-to-head, of course. But it gives you hope, man, with the schedule that's coming up for the Bucs. It kind of gives you some hope now with Evans back and the offense looking good and the defense not playing horribly. Right. I mean, again, it was the Giants, but still, I'll take it. It kind of gives you some hope here for the end of the season. This could be a division race, right?
Yeah, and that might be the best path to the playoffs for the Buccaneers because it's not a certain that 10 wins, if you lose the wrong tiebreaker, if the 49ers, which it looks like they're kind of spiraling, but if they get their act together towards the end of the season, if they don't win the division and they have 10 wins instead of the Bucs, well, that might cost the Bucs a playoff spot because of the head-to-head loss suffered at the hands of the 49ers. So,
and you're 2 games behind Washington too for that last wild card spot.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
So the Cowboys, by the way.
Yeah. So the math has to work right in the Bucs' favor, and you look at the Falcons, they're going to be playing against a really pissed off Chargers team coming out of the bye. The Chargers lost last night. Yeah. In the Brother Harbaugh game.
Harbaugh Bowl.
The Harbaugh Bowl. And
by the way, 2-0 now. John is right against Jim.
3-0.
Yeah.
3-0. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, he's definitely the better Harbaugh. There's no doubt about it. So,
definitely.
And so you look, and the Falcons start with the home game against a pissed off Chargers team. Then they have to go to Minnesota, who's playing really good football as well. Then they have a game at the Commanders later this season. So a much tougher schedule for the Falcons. And if the Falcons continue to Falcon and they lost 2 heading into the bye week, then all of a sudden, as long as the Buccaneers don't stub their toe, and that's the thing is that's what has me concerned is the Chargers game is going to be tough in LA. I'm just about ready to chalk that up as a potential loss, or say, hey, after the bye week, 6-1 mark is pretty good, right? And if you beat the Chargers, it can allow you a mistake somewhere,
right?
And to make up for that, because that'll get you to 10 wins, and I think that, or actually, that'll get you to 10 wins, and that should be enough either for the division or for the wild card.
I agree.
As long as the Falcons falcon. But this game against Carolina concerns me. It really does. This might be a bit of a trap game here. Don't look at the record. Dave Canales has got those guys playing hard. They took the Chiefs down to the wire. Mahomes at the end, right, to get that field goal. And then they had 2 wins before that. So the last 3 games by the Panthers, 2 wins. Bryce Young has had 3 touchdowns and 1 interception in those last 3 games, playing much better football. And then, again, they went wire to wire with the Chiefs, 27-27 with a minute left. And so that was a moral victory for Carolina. They're clinging to everything right now because they're a downtrodden franchise. Mm-hmm. And we remember that covering the Buccaneers during the dark years, the dark ages. It's like, hey, if you play the Packers close and you lose, well, hey, we played really well, and that's almost a moral victory. That's where Carolina is right now. 2 wins and a moral victory. So they're going to be feeling good. They're going to be feeling like they have an opportunity to beat the Bucs on Sunday in Carolina.
I saw Josh Capo wrote an article on the offensive line. Great article, as usual, from Josh on Pewter Report. And, I went into this game saying, I saw what they did when School came into the game. They had a lot of quick passes. They're probably going to be a little limited in what they do. And they really weren't, because they were running the ball so well. And School blocked really well in the run game. He was good. He ain't Tristan Wirfs, and we need Tristan back. But I thought that was hugely important. And also the rest of the guys. Bredesen was, maybe it's because his former team, he came alive and was pancaking people. And Grant Barton just continues to be better and better and better on his way to multiple Pro Bowls, as you and I have predicted. And the rest of the guys were great. So I wanted to give them a shout out. Get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and playing time matters, right? And when you're a swing tackle like Justin School, it's hard because you're splitting your practice snaps between right tackle and left tackle. Mm-hmm. And it's completely different stances, as Tristan Wirfs put it so aptly. Mm-hmm. It's playing left tackle after playing years of right tackle is like wiping your ass with the opposite hand. It's hard.
You ever tried that, by the way? It's not easy.
I have not, and I'm a righty, and I'm going to be that way.
Just make sure you wash your hands when you're done. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Look, I'll throw one at you that's similar but not quite as gross.
Okay.
Try brushing your teeth with your offhand.
All right, I will try that. Yeah.
Or playing golf. Yeah.
There's less margin for error there.
Right.
So I will try that. I will do that the next time I brush my teeth, and I'll think of you, Tim, as I
do it. Please
try to do it. So having said all that, everything's different, from your punch hand to your kick step in your pass protection set, and for him to be able to have 4 games playing right tackle and getting in the flow of things, right, and going snap in, snap out, and developing some chemistry and stuff. I think that helped him when he had to come in against Nick Bosa and play left tackle for Tristan and then start this game. And if I have to nitpick something from this win, the thing that sticks out to me is hey, maybe give Kyle Trask some snaps. You're up 23 points in the fourth quarter, and you just see your quarterback get a stinger. Mm-hmm. And it's like Todd Bowles was asked about that by Greg Allman on Monday, and he said, "Well, you don't have a lot of guys to begin with." Okay, well, you do have a backup quarterback. You do. It's.
And the way Baker plays, you might need him for a spell. Maybe get him a few snaps.
Exactly. Right.
Ridiculous.
So what did we see from Baker Mayfield? We saw him with a fumbled exchange from Rachaad White. Okay, so here's a veteran who has started every single game this year and last year too, and has handed off to Rachaad White hundreds of times, right? And it just goes to show you that even the routine thing, like turning, and handing the ball off, is not always routine. So why not get Kyle Trask some meaningful game snaps and say, you're playing the last drive here. You're going to be taking snaps under center from Graham Barton, which, again, there's a chance that fumble occurs between a snapper and a new quarterback that has to come in the game cold, right? We've seen that. And then the handoff to Rachaad White. So I just don't know why Todd Bowles refuses. And JP, you said it. There's not many blowouts in the NFL. So this is
game's over.
Prime time, a great time to insert Kyle Trask and get him some meaningful reps, even if it's just turning around and handing the ball off.
Yeah.
Because if Baker does get hurt in the game, Kyle's going to be asked to do that. So why not get him some experience, right? The last time,
get him some reps with these receivers in a real game, which he's had very, very little of. I mean, there's so much benefit to it. And then the downside of Baker Mayfield getting hurt, the game's effing. I tweeted it out in the middle of the fourth quarter.
I did.
Get him the hell out of the game. Yep. Get him out, and any meaningful starter that you have in there, get him out, that you could put somebody else in. I don't understand why NFL franchises don't do this more. It's just with the 17-game schedule. If I ever get a chance to give guys some and number one, to give other guys reps and give your guys time off, why are you not doing this? I mean, hello, Chris Godwin, for God's sakes.
Exactly. And here's the thing too. Like Todd then tried to excuse it and say, well, Baker didn't want to come out. You're the effing head coach. Okay.
I know when that came out of his mouth, that's exactly what I said.
You're the head coach. I mean, if you say, Baker, sit down, what is he going to do? Pull an Antonio Brown and take the jersey off and say, peace out? No, I don't think Baker's that guy. I don't.
That was the venue.
To me, it's like, come on, man. Seriously. I mean, I just, again, it's nitpick.
It's not nitpicking.
But
Chris Godwin is injured because you didn't do that. Your best receiver, and honestly, if you had a chance and it was an outside chance at getting to a conference championship game and a Super Bowl, you had to have Chris Godwin. You pissed that away by doing this. Right. So I don't want to talk. It's not hindsight. It's, we've seen this for years. We've talked about this for years. I mean, come on. Yeah. This is not nitpicking. It's a big deal. I mean, what if Baker got hurt? And he damn near did almost twice.
Exactly. I know.
Because he don't know how to switch it off when he's in there.
No, he doesn't.
He does not know how to switch it off.
And he was asked about this. And I said it, and I got, reamed out for it after the Baltimore game. And Greg Allman, said it. As a coach, don't you have to protect the players from themselves? Because, of course, they want to play. And the easy answer to that is yes. And for some reason, Todd Bowles doesn't see it that way. And it's just another poor game management decision that gets lost in the 30-7 win that you feel good about. But still, listen, I hope nothing happens to Baker. But if something does in a very critical, meaningful game and Kyle Trask has to come in cold, just ask Justin School what those 4 games playing for the injured Luke Gedeke at right tackle did for him in terms of being prepared for Sunday. He says, you cannot get enough playing time. You cannot get enough experience, and the more you get, the better you are.
That's
period.
Right. So, of all the things that the Bucs did, what got the most clicks from this game? The Baker Mayfield celebration, which was, I thought, pretty innocuous, but everybody has an opinion on it.
Yeah.
So today, Alex Anzalone, the Lions' fine Pro Bowl linebacker, tweets out about it. I, bro, did that a little too aggressive for my liking with the mean face on a little video of the DeVito, the homage to Tommy DeVito.
Mind your own business.
Does this have anything to do with the fact that his running mate, Reynolds or whatever, his jock is still on the Ford Field turf after what Baker did to him in that game, put him on skates?
Maybe.
Does this have anything to do with that? Maybe he don't like Baker.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. He was asked about it. He's like, yeah, I was actually paying respect to the guy. Okay. Period. The end. End of story. Let's move on. But now it's Tuesday, and Alex Anzalone, Alex Anzalone.
Maybe that's what he's pissed off about.
Maybe. I think so.
There was appropriation, cultural appropriation. He was not very. Maybe that's it, because he's not. Because we found out he's not Italian, right? Baker.
Well, he said he hasn't taken the 23andMe. So
I'm going to go with no.
Probably.
Baker Mayfield.
Correct.
Mayfield, and I'm going to go with no.
Yeah.
Of course, my last name's Peterson. I'm half Italian, but anyway. Yeah. So Vita Vea.
Peterson.
I'm a Peterson. Roxana D'Amelio is my mother.
Yeah.
She taught me how to pick the gabagool and the mozzarella and the stars. Anyway, Vita Vea.
All right, Paolo.
Definitely not Italian.
Yeah.
This guy played, I thought, one of his best games on both sides of the football. By the way, that what he did to that poor center. I don't know his name. I don't even want to mention his name because it's not
Dead Man. That's what I'm calling him. First name Dead, last name Man. Dead Man.
And just the game that he played, I thought was fantastic. And the fact that he's getting more reps now.
Yeah.
No more of this. 40% of the time we're going to play Vita Vea. He's getting some significant reps. It makes the defense better.
Yeah, it does. And it's a testament to Vita, right? Because he came in and he lost weight. And I mean, he missed one game this year, which was week 3 against Denver. Sure, they could have used him. But, I mean, that's not Vita's fault. That had nothing to do with his conditioning. He literally had his knee taken out by Yaya Diaby with some friendly fire in Detroit. And as we've seen from Vita before, he comes back pretty quickly. I mean, the dude broke his leg in week 4 in 2020 and was back for the playoffs. So, he's a fast healer, and the endurance that you're seeing from being in better shape, probably the best shape he's been in since his rookie season back in 2018, is a testament to his seriousness, his professionalism. He took that loss in Detroit probably harder than anybody. Mm-hmm. Jason Light told me about that, I think, on our podcast, and he's just like, yeah, man, he came up to Jason, apologized, and just said, I'm not letting this happen again. Like I'll be damned if I'm, going to play this way again. He had a good year last year, 5 sacks, but he had 6.5 sacks in 2022 to lead the team. He already has 6 right now. Yeah. I think he's less than 10 tackles away from his career high in tackles. Yeah. He had a 10 tackle, 2 sack game against Kansas City. And prime time, he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl this year. Mm-hmm. His 6 sacks are second only to Dexter Lawrence in terms of all defensive tackles, not just in the NFC. And I like the friendly competition between Kalijah Kancey and Vita Vea. I love when 2 guys
that duo.
Mm-hmm. We saw this for years in the 90s between Hardy Nickerson and Derek Brooks. The friendly competition of the old veteran, the Pro Bowler, and Hardy, and then the young buck and Derek Brooks. And I remember talking to Lovie Smith, and he said, and this is back before tackles were kind of like an official statistic. They used to be kept by the team. Mm-hmm. And he would have both of those guys in the film room saying, no, I get a tackle right there. See, it's an assist. You got to count that. That's just how it was. You had that friendly competition between 2 guys. I remember JPP and Shaq Barrett, who, interestingly enough, has filed for reinstatement. He is coming out of retirement. Interesting. Keep an eye on that, especially with Joe Tryon-Shoyinka going down for the count.
You think he's coming back?
The Dolphins have his rights, and obviously the trade deadline has passed. So either he plays for the Dolphins or he has already negotiated his release out of Miami and will come back to Tampa. So I'm working as it stands right now, making some texts to see if that will come to fruition. But he's going to be in Florida, either Miami or Tampa, and this might be one of those instances. We saw Jason Light grab Mike Edwards off the waiver wire, right? Bringing the band back together a little bit.
The band back together.
Yeah. And so you might see that. And
bring back Jake and Elwood.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather have Yaya Diaby and Shaq Barrett as the starting outside linebackers in this team right now. They need to have some outside pass rush help.
And back to your point of the dynamic duo, I said this yesterday. God, if you're an outside rusher, what team would you want to come to right now as a free agent or be drafted to? Yeah. You're going to get singled all the time. Oh, yeah. With those 2 guys in the middle, you're going to be if you can't get 8-9 sacks with those 2 guys in the middle, you're just come on, right? Let's see something from Yaya, and maybe Shaq will
6 games left in the season, and with the next sack, Vita Vea will have 7. That'll be a new career high. He already has a career high in tackles for loss. He already has 9 this year. Like I said, he's less than 10 away from a new career high in terms of tackles. He's 29. And more importantly, he's showing Kalijah Kancey how it's done, how to dominate. Now, he does it completely different than Kalijah Kancey. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think causes offensive coordinators such headaches. It's not like you
Thunder
have
and
Stu
lightning.
and Vita Vea, these two massive guys. One's a little bit more athletic, one's a little bit stronger. This is like
thunder and lightning. Put it out there.
It really is. Yeah, it is. It's the volcano and the earthquake is really what it is. These are two natural disasters in the middle, and I think I'm going to coin that. And
I like that.
And Kalijah, with his just quickness and the penetration, he can just kill you. And then with the bull rush and pure strength of Vita Vea. So I like these guys are a sack apart. And remember, Kalijah Kancey got the first sack. He tied Vita with 5. And in the game, Vita's like, hold my beer, like, or hold my Hawaiian punch or whatever he's drinking. And, and he gets his 6th. So I like this constant battle in between. It's going to make both those guys better. Both of them really actually playing at a Pro Bowl level right now.
And I don't want to just blow over the fact that Jamel Dean came back, because if it's not, I didn't go through the tape yet. I'll do the all 22 today, but if I'm not mistaken, we had a lot of pressures coming from the secondary. And I think when you got Jamel and Zion both healthy, you can really go man outside and not give them any help, and really frees up your pressure package. Now, there's a big difference between blitzing 5 and 6, or 6 and 7. And I think we saw a lot more 6 and 7s this past game. And I think that's the difference, and so Jamel, I don't think was playing great before, but he's just so much better than whatever else we got. And it allows, and I think it's a big reason the Bucs defense played better. Would you agree? Yeah.
And, he's not a playmaker, but he's kind of an eraser. Like he's good enough to like take away, another receiver or limit the guy to like 4 catches for 40 yards, right? 10 yards a pop. Okay. Like that's not fatal. Right. But he's not going to let the big plays happen as much. He's not going to allow the touchdowns as much as some of the other guys in the team. And it does give you that kind of 1-2 punch in the outside. Like I said, this game is going to be interesting against Carolina, because the Panthers are playing hard for Dave Canales, and I think they're going to want this one for Dave Canales, right? I think if there's a chance the Buccaneers are going to be upset by the Panthers, it's going to happen more likely this week in Carolina than it will in week 17. As I think the losses continue to pile up for a Panthers team that just doesn't have the talent, right? But we saw David Moore, former Buccaneer, have a good game against the Chiefs. He's going to want to win. You got Harold Goodwin and Joe Gilbert, the offensive line coaches, the run game coordinators. Chuba Hubbard has played well against the Buccaneers. And let's not forget, those 2 games against the Panthers last year, that was 21-18, a Tampa Bay win. And it took a Herculean performance by Mike Evans in that game at home to really kind of help propel the Bucs down the stretch. So they won by 3 points. Then they go to Carolina. Baker Mayfield is hurt. He took that shot to the sternum. He also injured his knee in the first quarter, kept playing. There were 3 dropped interceptions, one of which could have been a pick 6 in the first quarter by the Panthers defense. 3 drops. Then in the fourth quarter, the Panthers had a touchdown called back due to a holding call.
Yep.
And the Buccaneers ended up winning 9-0. They couldn't score any touchdowns. And, of course, that was, I guess, what sold the Panthers organization on Dave Canales. Man, you put up 3 field goals on us. We want you as our head coach and play caller, man. But regardless, that's what happened. They squeaked out a win twice against the Panthers. So the Panthers played this team competitively. Go back to 2022. Tom Brady goes in there and loses to P.J. Walker. They beat the Bucs 21-3, and one of the biggest upsets that year. So this Panthers team will give the Buccaneers an absolute fight on Sunday. And I thought that the Giants game was going to be closer because I didn't believe in the Bucs defense. I was wrong. I'm going to double down and say this is going to be a close game. I think Tampa Bay wins it at the end. They have more talent. But, if you don't make the right coaching decisions, the right game management decisions.
Thank you.
This game can go a little sideways, because I think the Panthers' effort is going to be there. And I think Dave Canales, he's gone up against Todd Bowles plenty in practice, especially in training camp when it's ones-on-ones. And he knows where those weaknesses are. He knows where those holes are in this, and he knows the personnel too. That's the thing. He knows the personnel from having seen the KJ Britts, the Levante Davids, the Jamel Deans. He knows that better than the Buccaneers know Carolina's personnel, because he was here on the inside last year as the offensive coordinator.
Timmy, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the schedule, Scott, for the rest of the way for the Bucs. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but like I said, the schedule's setting up really nice for the Bucs to compete here, I think, for at least a wild card spot.
Yeah.
But as JP and I talked about yesterday, you have to handle business against the Panthers.
I know.
This is their fourth straight home game, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their schedule. Like, that's kind of weird. You know, they beat the Saints 23-22.
And then 2, yeah.
And look what they just did to Patrick Mahomes almost.
Right.
It's his, by the way, his first time ever playing in their stadium. That was his first appearance ever at Bank of America. But you take care of business against the Panthers, and then like you said, other than the Chargers, I'm a little terrified of them. Not the Cowboys, not the Panthers again, and not the Saints. The Raiders, you don't have Gardner Minshew for the rest of the season. You're going to be playing Desmond Ritter, who they've struggled against defensively a little bit when he was in Atlanta.
He might be back, but I'm not scared about the Raiders game. The games that scare me the most, obviously the Chargers, because they're a good
division
team,
games.
Right? Yeah, and then it's really the Saints game in Week 18. The Saints are 5-1 in Tampa in the last 6 games for whatever.
And they've gotten some juice. They've gotten some juice from their new coach,
from Rizzy. Rizzy power.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, and the Saints just don't like the Buccaneers, right? And the Buccaneers have taken it to them, right? So. That's either going to be a spoiler game, right, for the Saints, or the Saints might actually have worked themselves up into the thick of it, and they might have something to play for there on Week 18. But, yeah, this Panthers game concerns me. The Cowboys game concerns me, unless it's flexed out. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the schedule in Week 16, there are some more prominent games there where I can see, and it's going to take a lot, right, because we're talking the Cowboys, America's team, taking them out of the national spotlight. But the NFL has a propensity to do that. So if the Cowboys don't build on that win against the Commanders, if they do, and they're in the race for a wild card, and so is Tampa Bay.
Oh, it'll stay.
It'll stay. But if the Cowboys falter, and Cooper Rush might actually be a better quarterback than Dak Prescott.
Oh, Timmy.
I'm just saying.
Oh, God, come on.
Statistically
Football better than that.
But anyways, so I don't want to digress, but
he's a better value. Let's just put it that way. He's definitely a better value.
Everyone is.
But if you look at that week, there is, I want to say Cowboys and not Cowboys, Commanders and Eagles. That's one of the two games, and then the other one is Steelers Ravens. So. Those are two games that are for the division and for playoff seeding, and I could see the NFL flex the Bucs Cowboys out and one of those games in Week 16. And if that's the case, then I like the Bucs' chances of winning in Dallas, because if it's on prime time, we know that the Bucs suck in prime time. They're 0-3 this year. Yeah. So if it's Sunday Night Football, I like Dallas's chances better.
The NFL script machine will get involved as well. Correct. Yeah, we don't want to see
the only thing Dallas has going for them right now is that Mike Zimmer has kind of figured out this defense a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's got enough games under his belt where he's figured out what players can do what in his system. With corners being out and all the injuries, he's had to move guys around. He actually played Micah Parsons against Washington on the defensive line for really the first time, and he had a great game. So
is he a good pass rusher, that Micah Parsons?
Yeah.
Maybe they should try that.
He's a great pass rusher, but he's really good in pass coverage too, which wasn't his forte at Penn State. So that's the biggest concern for the Bucs is if the Cowboys defense catches fire here late in the season, Mayfield could have some issues, but I don't anticipate that too much.
Yep.
Hey, one quick note on Jordan Whitehead. Looks like he's going to be lost for the season. Yep. Good thing we picked up Mike Edwards that's for sure. And Christian Izzian's playing well. Yep. I don't think it's a huge hit. You can't afford a whole lot more back there, but your thoughts on that real quick?
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's not. It just wasn't working out with Jordan Whitehead, and it just wasn't having a good year. And I'm not sure why. I think maybe Todd Bowles got fooled a little bit because he played with the Jets, and the Jets do a lot of quarters coverage, so he did play deep a lot more, and he did have 6 interceptions in 2 seasons in New York. So maybe 3 of those were in one game, though, against Josh Allen in the Bills. So maybe you look at that on the surface and say, okay, he's better in coverage. Well, I don't think he's better in coverage. I think he's a strong safety. I think he's a box safety, and that's it. And so the times where Todd Bowles wanted to bring Antoine Winfield Jr. down into the box where he could blitz like he did last year, getting 6 friggin' sacks and forcing fumbles, he didn't feel comfortable enough to do that because Whitehead would have to be that rotational safety that comes back and plays free, and he's just not that good in coverage. And so now with Mike Edwards, that's where Mike excels. Mike can play in the box, but he is very good in terms of playing center field. So when they're in their cover 3, he can be that single high safety. He's got the speed and the range and the ball skills to make things happen. And he's good enough in the box, but now we might see Winfield go from being that center fielder to more in the box. And look what happened. Oh, he got a sack. Wow, imagine that. Because of
and he's really good in the run game too. He's really good in the run game.
Yeah. So I like this move. Would not be surprised one bit if by the end of the year, and of course Whitehead season's done, but by the end of the year, Jordan, or I should say Mike Edwards, ends up being the better safety for the Buccaneers.
Stay healthy.
All said and done. Yeah.
All right, partner. What's coming up on
story real quick?
What's that?
Have y'all seen this story real quick about Baker Mayfield suing his father and his brother?
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Apparently it's
like,
going to court.
That's old.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to court now. Yeah, that had surfaced a while back.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's unfortunate, but you know,
he got a new family now. He got a new family now. It's all good.
Right.
Tristan works as his brother. Like
good.
step brothers, and,
right.
You want to build a fort?
Yeah.
You want to be playing in the garage? Let's do it.
Go ahead, guys. Have a.
It's just a great movie. I love it.
Oh, what's the clam bake? Oh, my brain farting on that one. The
Catalina wine mixer.
The Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah.
Catalina wine mixer. What a classic scene.
It's the Catalina wine mixer.
Yep.
All right, Scotty. Pewter Report. What's going on?
We have a podcast
shows all week
today, which we typically don't do on Tuesdays, but we have this little thing called Thanksgiving on Thursday. We're not doing a podcast on Thursday. We're going to be in our turkey comas by the afternoon.
Yes.
So with the tryptophan tripping in, and so we're doing podcast today. That is our Bucs Panthers preview. And then tomorrow we've got another podcast, Dave Canales versus Todd Bowles. Who will prevail in Carolina? Right?
In a world
where the Panthers and the Bucs play.
What's it like to not work on Thanksgiving? I don't know what that's like.
Cowboy reporter.
Cowboys every year.
Yeah. All right, Scotty. Thanks, man. Have a great week. Have a great Thanksgiving to you.
You too.
You and yours and your father-in-law. Prayers.
Yep. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll hit a little college football. We'll get to the comments. We love you guys commenting. A couple other nice tidbits we got to get to on the national scene. Interesting game last night with the Ravens and the Chargers. I think it revealed a few things Buck fans need to know. So we'll do that when we come back. I want to remind you folks that it is Black Friday time at the Gold and Diamond Source. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary. The first 40 people that buy a $1,000 gift card will receive one of our 40th anniversary gold sand dollars, must have, to commemorate our 40th anniversary. Plus, we'll still have your $1,000 gift card match all day Black Friday. That means you buy up to a $1,000 gift card. We match it, giving you $2,000 to spend. I did the math. So on Saturday and Sunday, you can purchase up to $500 gift cards, and we'll match it, giving you up to $1,000. But if you get there Friday, you can do it all the way to $1,000. Imagine giving a $2,000 gift card, and you only spend $1,000 to your honey for Christmas. Do that there. Holiday shopping is the best at the Gold and Diamond Source. So make sure you head on over there for a real Gold and Diamond Source. Diamond, 3800 Olmerton Road, just a 20-minute drive from downtown Tampa. You know where they are, over there in Clearwater. Back in 3. Hey, folks, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center, a very different kind of approach to primary care. Personalized preventative medicine, not a one-pill-fits-all mentality. Christopher Lugo and his experienced medical staff are proactive in looking at issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Rather than the impersonal, rushed approach, you will be the only patient and will have our full attention. That's new. Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. Bay Area Modern Medical Centers are experts in anti-aging regenerative medicine that optimizes your body's performance in many areas. So call for an appointment to get started on a journey back to full health and a happy life with a new, modern way of healthcare. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. That's 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. They also do AC, they do house repairs as well. So need some hurricane work done, you're having a hard time getting your contractor over there, call thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Like I said, they do all kinds of work, including AC. Just go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and like we say, there are so many grifters out there and scammers out there. When hurricanes hit, they come and get a deposit from you and they never show up. Well, that's why you go with a local company that's been around since 1995, and that's Third Generation Plumbing. John Rodriguez, the owner over there. If it's not right, he will make it right. And that's all you want, right? When you get plumbing or AC work done, you just want a fair deal and to get the work done that needs to be done, and you don't get overcharged for some AC unit that you don't need. That's thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Tell them JP sent you. All right. A little college football here, Timmy.
Yeah.
A little college football. Florida State fans, you may not want to hear this, but this is breaking news this morning from Eli Letterman, ESPN. Florida flipped 4-star Florida State running back Byron Lewis on Tuesday morning. Sound familiar? Sources told ESPN securing the Gators' fourth 2025 commitment in a span of less than 24 hours and dealing the latest blow to the Seminoles' incoming class this fall. Lewis is ESPN number 11 running back prospect in 2025. Committed to Florida 3 days after rusher from Plantation, Florida visited the Gators during the Ole Miss win. His pledge follows Florida's Monday morning flip of USC inside linebacker pledge Ty Jackson, who's number 54 in the ESPN 300. The Gators added offensive lineman Jahari Medlock, a Cincinnati flip, and wide receiver Muiz Tonkata, an Arizona flip. So they've now taken 3 of Florida State's top recruits in the last month or so. Quarterback Tramel Jones, offensive guard Daniel Pierre-Louis, and the running back. So there you go. Not only are the Gators going to whoop our ass on Saturday, but they're stealing our women too. It's a complete plundering of everything. Women in terms of plundering. It's just what a freaking disaster. I mean, I hate to just give ESPN any credit at all, but the snub has just destroyed our program. It's just destroyed our program ever since the snub. Recruiting, I think we lost 3 or 4 and 5 stars right after the snub.
Now, are these all in-state guys too that you're losing?
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah. It's just, how can you go to Florida Field and you see that win over Ole Miss, and that place was just freaking rocking, 90,000 people. Then you go to FSU and half the stadium's covered up.
Yeah.
The new seats and the premium seating that we're not going to be able to sell. We don't know what conference we're going to be in. I mean, it's bad. Right. How do you go from 13-0 and sitting there I'll never forget it, man. It's like one of those, I've had these moments as a Florida State fan. I've been under the goalpost for most of the wide rights and literally under the upright for most of the wide rights and wide lefts. So I can, just like the shot I took in the junk on Mark Light Field on that ground ball. It's the same feeling. And it's the same feeling I got last year when I'm watching that show. Yeah. Ouch, babe. And I see that Alabama logo pop up instead of Florida State. And I'm just ouch. And then they cut to a shot of Mike Norvell dropping his head. And little did I know at that moment, not only was it the biggest crushing defeat in the history of Florida State athletics, but it just destroyed our program. Literally destroyed our program. I don't know if Mike Norvell is the man. He's done it before. He brought us back from the brink of Willie Taggart. But what we've seen this year is just worse than Willie Taggart. Worse than Willie Taggart. If we ever thought it could be worse, it was worse. And now you're going to get your ass handed to you because these kids that are playing for Florida State right now, they have no idea what this rivalry means. They have no idea that the guys that have come before them, the Derek Brookses of the world, I mean, all of these guys that have come before them, have literally put their lives on the line and will go to the nth degree to beat the Florida Gators and the Miami Hurricanes. There's nothing they would not do. They would absolutely drain it all just to beat them. And these guys may not even want to break a sweat this week. They may not, want to get their toenail hurt. So I'm not sure luckily I have a Lightning game at the same time, so I won't have to sit there in front of the TV and vomit. So yeah, was that a strong enough Florida State segment?
I have a visual. I have a visual here for everybody if they like one of JP's.
Did I pull any punches? I don't think I did. So if anybody ever calls me a homer again, cue up this segment, and send it out because it's bad. It's bad.
So hey, man, college football is exciting though, right?
Oh my God. I haven't gone through the big games this weekend just yet, but
you want my locks and near locks for the college football playoff?
Yeah, absolutely.
JP, the locks I have for you are going to be there are 4 that I feel are no matter what happens they're in.
Okay.
Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I just think strongest where they're at now in the rankings. No matter what happens from here on out, I feel like they can't fall far enough out of the 12. My near locks for you are going to be Miami, Georgia, Tennessee, and Penn State.
This Syracuse game for Miami is a little dicey. 7-win
Syracuse, they'll move into lock status for sure.
Well, they will. Absolutely. Isn't there in the what I think all these upsets. Well, people say this, but I don't think it's true. People say that with now the 3 losses for Alabama, 2 losses, across the board for most of these SEC teams, and it could get worse, that now it opens the door to get 2 ACC teams in. I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell of that. I really don't.
It's going to be the
maybe
ACC
the fact
winner,
that one of them's
right?
not going to be Florida State. Maybe that gives them a chance. So then ESPN can go, no, we really care about the ACC. No, you don't. So if SMU loses to Miami in the ACC championship, are they in with 2 losses? No, I don't think so. Do you?
They're not going to get in over an SEC team.
No,
right?
A 3-loss. They won't get in over a 3-loss SEC team. No, I think they'll put
Or
Alabama in there.
Or even I think a multi-loss Big 12 champion would boot them, right?
Yeah, I don't see 2 ACC teams getting in unless Miami loses. If they lose to SMU, and now Miami has 2 losses, I don't see Miami getting in with 2 losses. Do you?
No, they've got for Miami to get in, I think they need to beat Syracuse. I don't know that they need to win the. So if it's Miami, if SMU wins the ACC title game, I can see a scenario where SMU and Miami both get in.
You think so?
I could see that. But it kind of depends on what happens with other SEC teams, right? So if Texas loses to A&M, I mean, Texas is in no matter what. I don't care what. Even if they lose to A&M, they're going to be in because they can't fall out of the top 12 because they're at number 3 right now.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
A&M has to beat Texas and then beat Georgia in the SEC title game to get in, I think.
Miami does not have a win over a ranked opponent.
Now, we went over their schedule, didn't we, yesterday?
Yeah, we'll do it again. They beat Florida 41-17 in the opener.
Yep.
Beat FAM, beat Ball State, beat South Florida 50-15 in the game. Beginning of the second half was in question. They edged Virginia Tech 38-34 on a call that should have gone the other way. This should never have been overturned, right? The Virginia Tech game, they win 38-34 on that Hail Mary. The Cal game, there's a targeting call in there that gives Cal runs out the clock if they get that targeting call. This is one of the most obvious targeting calls in the history of targeting calls. And they get that call as well. And they beat Cal, who is not Florida State beat Cal 39-38. They win at Louisville 52-45. That may be their best win. They beat a terrible FSU team 36-14. FSU hung in for a little bit. They beat Duke 53-31, but that was kind of close for a little while. And they lose to Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech. One of the only quality road games that they had, they lose at Georgia Tech. And then they beat Wake Forest 42-14 in a game that was closer than that score would indicate. Right. So if they lose the ACC championship game, they got 2 losses, and one of those losses is going to be to SMU. They're not getting in. I think in 11 scenario where the ACC gets 2 teams in.
I think an 11-win ACC team, an 11-win Miami, which they'll have 11 wins if they beat Syracuse, trumps any potential 9-win team, whether it's SEC, whoever. I think, and in that case, SMU would have won the ACC title game. I think they both get in. I can see it happening.
Nah,
I think Alabama's out.
I disagree.
Alabama's out. Who else did I mark as out? I mean, really, Alabama, especially. Ole Miss is out. Colorado's out. Alabama's out. Just by virtue of their losses, they're not going to get in. I don't see a scenario where Alabama gets in here.
This is going to be so interesting. It's going to be so interesting because, and here again, this will. God, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna. Once again, this is going to reveal how FSU got screwed last year because Texas is losing their starting quarterback, but they're not automatically thrown out. And I know they got a reasonable backup in Manning, so I get it. But where's that precedent rule? And then I think you're going to see television matchups. And I don't think they're going to look at Miami. Miami though does bring a little cachet. But I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting because it's such a logjam. I mean, how do you differentiate these teams? I think it's so difficult because the SEC is not the old SEC. We went through these numbers yesterday. Their top 5 teams' records are at the same as every other conference. Okay, their non-conference wins and losses, I think, or actually a mark against them. I think their non-conference losses, like Auburn losing to Cal, and then Auburn winning, Texas A&M. I mean, you keep saying these SEC teams are beating up on each other, but they're losing out of conference. So I don't know. I just think it's I think it's very different and difficult for me. I'll be hanging on the edge of my seat, but I think they're going to err to maybe Alabama getting in. I don't know. A 3-loss team, some 3-loss SEC team might get in. Might be Ole Miss. I don't know who it's going to be, but I think it's going to happen. And I look at the Big Ten and I'm like, is Indiana in? I mean, they won 10 games. I get it, but they played absolutely nobody. But I want to say you won 10 games. And you were, right. I think that Ohio State game, I watched a lot of that game. That was, special teams mistakes. I mean, Indiana, for the most part, I thought afforded themselves very good against Ohio State. If they don't make those critical errors, which handed them 14 points, and it got a little out of joint at the end, I think it's a totally different game. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, is Indiana in?
In my scenario, Indiana needs all the help in the world. They need to handle Purdue next week. And if they can do that, I think Indiana, if they handle Purdue next week, not only are they a playoff team, I think they one of the first round home games.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I don't think they want to play a game at Bloomington. But I don't think they want to see.
I mean, the committee doesn't want them to play a game.
What are they at, like 30,000 seats? I don't know. I don't think I've ever
than that.
I don't think I've ever seen a game at Indiana. That's not a basketball game. I don't know. Interesting times to say the least. All right, let's take another break.
52,000 seats, by the way.
52,000.
52,000, yeah.
Or in other words, half of Michigan.
All right.
Half of Texas A&M. Less than half of Texas A&M.
That is true. Less than half of college.
This is about money after all, isn't it?
I mean, you can only fudge it so far, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, before we go to the break, actually, let's go ahead and hit the break. I want to talk a little bit about the Ravens game last night, Ravens-Chargers game last night. We might do a little bit of NBA here as Charles Barkley blasted the Lakers' plan for Bronny, which
good.
Thank you for doing that. By the way, North Carolina fired Mac Brown.
Oh, really? I didn't see that. Was that today?
Yeah, this is breaking news. Let me just hit this story from CBS.
How do you fire Mac Brown
right now? Like Mac, really?
That's weird timing, right?
Yeah. Well, he was gonna resign at the end of the season, right? Didn't we hear that?
That's what I thought.
Legendary coach Mac Brown's second stint in North Carolina football is coming to an end. The university had Tuesday announced it's firing Brown in the 6th season as a second return to the Teals. UNC presently sits 6-5, 3-4 with one regular season game remaining. While it was not the perfect time and way in which I imagined going out, no time will ever be the perfect time, Brown said in the statement. Spent 16 seasons at North Carolina. Will always cherish the memories and relationships. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that seems.
You've got your rivalry game with NC State this week. Like, why would you do it now?
That's weird.
Something
they must have to do that to hire the new guy. They must have a guy in mind, and they got to get it done now. That's the only thing I can
get it done in private, not have to announce it though, right?
Yeah, give the man some dignity for God's sakes.
To me, that's a bad look for the university.
Yeah, I think it's a real bad look for the university. Wow. If you're going to do that, give me a reason why.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird. Well, happy trails, Mac Brown. You finally got your win over FSU this last year.
Probably be seeing him on some college analyst show. He's pretty good on TV.
Yeah, I think you'll see him on the ACC network. We'll probably that won't be long. So, of course, had it stint at Texas too, where he won.
Pretty good stint at Texas too.
Yeah, pretty damn good at Texas.
Yeah, him and Vince Young beat Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and USC back in 2005.
Yeah, he had a great run at Texas.
He had a good early run at Texas. He didn't really do anything after that. But
I met Mac a few times, interviewed him a few times, and I can say this: one of the classiest people in the history of sports, and that's why this seems really odd. Like,
I've never met him before, but I can see that for sure.
Oh my God, one of the nicest people, most gentle, just a super smart guy, authentic,
weird, right?
Genuine. Yeah, this is something you do to a jerk. and not a guy that's been at your school for 16 years and has great relationships built and, just a
It'd be
class
different if he resigned. Like if he resigned right now, like that would be weird, but I would get it. Like, okay, let the program move on before NC State, whatever. I get it.
Yeah,
that's fired him.
Yeah, that's weird. That's really weird.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I'm sure we'll get more on this later.
Anyway, that's the breaking news. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side. TJ Reeves scheduled to join us. We'll get his thoughts on what it was like up there in the Meadowlands for that ass kicking that the Bucs put on the Giants. We'll do that. We'll hit some of the comments as well. We got to get back to our comments section. Quick break. Stay with us. Old Hurricane Helene put a hurting on Tampa Bay, and for many of you, the rebuild will be a long process. You must beware of unscrupulous contractors offering up quick fixes for incredible prices. It's a scam. So go with long-standing reputable companies like Third Generation Plumbing and AC. My friend John Rodriguez has been serving Tampa Bay since 1995 with hundreds of 5-star reviews. If you need a new AC system or any home repairs from Helene, they will work with insurance companies to get you taken care of quickly, expertly installed, of course, and a 1-year maintenance plan and 10-year warranty included on all AC units. 0% financing for 60 months. Contact them at thirdgenerationplumbing.com or 813-961-8024. That's 813-961-8024, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. So many of our Tampa Bay neighbors are finding out the hard way from Hurricane Helene that homeowners insurance does not cover flood damage. You must have flood insurance. It's a separate policy. Immediately call Italiano Insurance at 813-877-7799, and they will shop around to find the best policy before rates go up. Lock it in. Over 60% are underinsured in Florida, or you're not getting your discounts that you're entitled to. So do an insurance checkup at Italiano, and they could save you thousands of dollars. Italiano will make sure you're with a highly rated insurer, so there are no surprises in your time of need. Our hearts go out to all our neighbors devastated by Helene. These are the times we're proud to protect all the pieces of your life. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Tarpon Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go. Right now. Back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here, brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. You just heard that great spot right there from Paolo Tini. Get a reservation if you one of those people that don't like to cook on Thanksgiving weekend or whenever. Head on over there and get some.
Nothing wrong with Italian food on Thanksgiving.
No, it's always been our tradition to make meatballs and lasagna and everything else. I don't have time for that this year, but I'll do it for Christmas. Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's always been lasagna, and they have a great lasagna at Cafe Paradiso. Yeah. Oh my God, wasn't that good?
Jeez,
like I've never tasted better lasagna than Roxana D'Amelia's, which I replicate the recipe pretty well, if I do say so myself. But that's second to Roxy's lasagna. and that's high praise. That is extremely high praise. As good as I've ever tasted. That's really, really good. Their red sauce at Cafe Paradiso is. I always judge an Italian restaurant by their red sauce.
Yeah,
like because everybody makes it differently, but theirs is just perfectly, perfect amount of sweet and savory. Oh, robust, if I may. So great stuff. Yeah. And the veal is so good, and the branzino, the sea bass, always perfectly cooked. So, if for the holidays, if you have a little event, you want to take some people out for dinner, visiting, Cafe Paradiso is the way to go.
Barbera wine, red wine was amazing too, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. Another note here: Luke Kromenhoek looks like he will be the starter for FSU in the showdown this weekend. And Joey Knight writes in the Times, great college football reporter, by the way, does a fantastic job covering all the Florida schools by himself. Be the first time in at least 40 years and potentially longer that the Gator Knowles showdown will feature two true freshman quarterbacks in DJ Lagway and Luke Kromenhoek. Unfortunately, Luke will not be able to play quarterback because he has no offensive line. So good luck to him. We'll probably see Brock Glenn by second quarter because Luke will be dead. He did pretty well. I went back and watched the FSU Charleston Southern showdown between one-win teams. Something's got to give. And Luke was 13 of 20 for 209, but just looked good throwing the football. Like he's a really good natural passer of the football. What's his comp? I don't want to give him a comp really because he's so inexperienced. But when he has time to let it go, he really looks good. He's very accurate, throws a nice deep ball. He's a big kid, can run. He's got some potential, but man, it's hard to really judge when you're just running for your life when you hit your fifth step. It's just bad. Want to do a little comments here before TJ shows up?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Michael LaRue. Good morning to you, Michael LaRue. Good morning to you. As our Dr. Seuss welcome was always lovely. FSU needs to hit the portal hard again because they can't recruit high school players. Bingo. I'm all for getting the best group of 5 players who are hungry. Listen, go find you Jared Verse, Brandon Fisk. It ain't easy. These guys want to complain. The Gators don't have enough spots now for good portal recruits. So there's only so many that they can take for away from us. So
right.
Yeah, go hit the portal and find those guys. They're out there. No question about it. They're out there. Got tons of NIL money. I think people are still writing checks. Maybe not. But go hit the portal and find some guys. The big question is, going to go find a quarterback. Yes. Luke, they just lost a quarterback in the recruiting class. I think they signed another one though. So we'll see. What else we got here? Todd Bowles can't manage games, says Michael. He shows us he can every week. I know. James ponders. Maybe Mac told the NCAD he wanted to stay for another season. Well, that'll do it. No, that's not happening.
Yeah.
I recall, when Bobby Bowden was going out, probably took a couple of years too long, but
right.
You can't fire the guy. We ended up firing him, but that's the way it goes. Tim Witherspoon asks, how much better will the Bucs defense be when Tyke Smith gets back? It's a good question. Because he's a player, dog. He's a player. Yeah, this is chance. The Bucs team has a real good chance to go on a run. Rick says, better have Shaq take his physical after Thanksgiving. Every day has been a Golden Corral day for him since June. We did see that interview when he went on Kay Adams' show, and those cheeks were big. There were some big facial cheeks.
Not Mike Tyson cheeks.
Thank you. Both of our brains go to the same place. Well, how do you ever forget that image? That was
you can't.
Does Netflix have one of the Thanksgiving Day games, or is it Christmas?
It's Christmas, I think. Yeah.
Pick your servers, boys. This ain't no Game of Thrones or whatever the hell. This is the NFL, and you're gonna have 50 million people watching. You better.
That was a disaster.
Good God, wasn't it? What was worse, the fight or the actual production of the fight?
It had to be the production. It was close.
James says, this is a huge game. I'm worried more about this game than the Chargers. Chargers have no wide receivers, and so they need to stop the run. The Bucs can score 30 this Sunday and win. could be 11-6. Yeah, you said 12, but I don't think they're getting to 11, bro. I think they can beat the Chargers. Now, I saw the Chargers play last night a little bit. I was doing the Bucs game, but went back and watched the coverage of the game. Chargers are limited at their wide receivers. I don't know if Quentin Johnson even caught a ball. I mean, they're a little limited, but they're tough to play against. And Harbaugh, like Scott said, they don't beat themselves. So that's going to be a tough one out there, I think. James says, if Bucs play average D and Bucs will win out. This is 100% on Bowles D. This Bucs offense is lethal and scoring is not an issue. So hopefully Winfield and Edwards can play and Whitehead injury doesn't hurt. Yeah, I think that's a pretty it is. I mean, the offense has proven it can score points. Might they have a bad day here and there? Maybe. And I still worry about Baker because he plays so recklessly. You know, I love the fact that you're running downfield and blocking guys. It's so much fun. Stop, bro. You're too valuable. Seriously. You know, can we just tone it down a little bit? We know you've proven yourself. You'll run through a wall. We love you. We need to be a little bit smarter. And evidently, since your coach is not able to tell you to sit down, maybe do it yourself. If it's 30-7 and there's 8 minutes left, just sit down. Sit down. Let Kyle handle it. Okay. What else? Rick says JP didn't think he would feel being hit in the package off the turf again until he dealt with his divorce attorneys.
Oh, touchy subject.
I'm thinking right now back and I remember the first time when I had to sign that final agreement. I was forced into signing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was worse than the shot. I'm like getting choked up thinking about worse than the shot than the nuts. Like that was such a gut punch. I'm looking at those numbers. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Ouch.
20 years later, still hurts.
Still hurts. The shot to the crotch doesn't hurt anymore, but that does.
You know, it's funny. My dad's 93 years old, and I call him and I talk to him every once in a while. And he got divorced from my mom. When I was about 10 years old, and he was a city engineer in Hollywood, Florida, and so we bought this great piece of land in Hollywood, and he bought a half acre, and he built this. He designed the house because he was a civil engineer. Designed the house himself. Everything he wanted in the house. With a sunken living room. He designed the original Polynesian pool that had the cave and the rocks and the waterfalls coming up. We had that in our backyard. We had a small version of the lava rocks with fountains coming out. So this was his pride and joy, and he lost it in the divorce.
Oh my God.
So here's my 93-year-old dad, he's like, you're still living in that house in Hollywood? God damn it, that effing bitch took my
oh my God, that's hysterical.
That bitch took my house.
Wow.
Dad, that was a long time ago, bro. Like, let it go. Let it go.
You can't let things go, man.
He's like, yeah, Dad. She did. Sold it too. Sorry.
My first wife took my house, my Sea Ray, my 37-foot Sea Ray, and my 2-year-old Corvette.
Oh.
And you know what? Within 6 months, there was a new dude living there, cooking in my outdoor kitchen, sleeping in my bed, driving my Corvette, and
you win.
Running my boat.
All right, you win. You win. You win.
Still
I think it's lost. You lose. But
that's all right. They got married. They got married and didn't last a year.
Oh, wow.
I was cracking up, man. I was cracking up.
Yeah.
Great. Good times.
My ex
divorce talk here on the JP Peterson show.
My ex got married because she thought she could take my kids away.
Yeah.
To London. And it didn't work out so well for her. But that no more alimony sure worked out for me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I took a couple L's, but she took a couple L's too.
Yeah.
So, but in the end, I got the dub, the biggest dub of all.
That's right.
I'm super happy in life. Greatest move ever. And my kids are awesome. And they, got an awesome new wife, got 2 step kids, beautiful 2 step kids. I'm a blessed, lucky man. So we talk about these things. It's all part of the journey, kids.
Yep.
It's all part of the journey. But I will say this. Our legal system sucks when it comes to divorce. It absolutely sucks. It's the worst. It does nothing but make lawyers rich. Yep. That's all it does. Make lawyers rich. And I was just told a story here recently of a certain lawyer that we went up against that he was going up against him in another case. He told me that lawyer charged 4 times more than he charged his client. They're doing the same things. They're doing the same things. And he charged 4 times more. This one that was my ex's attorney charged 4 times more. That's what kind of thieves that are working in this business. It's disgusting. And all they're in it for is to see how much money they can get out of it. It's not for the kids, not to see what's best for the family. So if you guys are, anybody out there, do it yourself. Get a mediator. Do it yourself. Because divorce attorneys are kind of like the college football playoff committee. Yeah. Don't care about the kids. They're in it for the money. It's all about the money. All right. I think we got all those done there too. Okay, cool. Anything else we missed here in the comments? Yeah. All right. Okay. We'll take our final break. We'll come back on the other side. TJ Reeves will join us, and we'll talk about some more Bucs. And always, the college basketball season has started. He's doing his college basketball season show right now. So maybe we'll get a couple of good. He gave me the over on the Kentucky 10 game the other, which didn't go over, but I won anyway on that one. So good. Maybe we'll get a couple of good bets when we come back. Stay with us.
Hey, Tampa Bay sports fans. This is 2-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the U.S. Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right. That's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
Getting old is inevitable, but feeling and looking old is avoidable. If you're feeling run down, your workout sucks, or your sexual libido is not what it used to be, check out Bay Area Modern Medical Center. That happened to me a few years ago, and I found out I had the testosterone level of a second-grade girl. That's not good. Our food, environment, and stress can cause your T levels to drop. Bay Area Modern Medical Center can help, and they are different. They offer customized hormone replacement for both men and women. Christopher Lugo and his medical staff can help you restore your energy, your sex drive, and your feelings of well-being. It was a total game changer for me. I have way more energy, lost 30 pounds, and I'm performing better in all areas of my life. Nobody wants to talk about sexual health, but it's key to a balanced life. We offer discreet treatments with real-world results. So if you're suffering from a lack of interest in sex, ED, or lack of sexual stamina, Dr. Lugo and his staff can help. Take your health care to the next level at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, 844-977-3477 or BAMMC.com. Hey, JP here for the Gold and Diamond Source. There's been a lot of talk about lab-grown diamonds. Oh, they're just like the real thing. No, they're not. They're not the real thing. They're lab-grown. They're fake. You want to give your honey a fake diamond? Not a good way to start off the relationship, folks. Take my word for it. Get the real thing, and no place better to shop than the Gold and Diamond Source. And remember, if you shop anywhere else, you don't know if it's real. You don't know what you're buying. The Gold and Diamond Source has been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great benefactors in our community. You know it's real. It's the only place to shop. And if you're planning to purchase for the holidays, don't forget to take advantage of our layaway offer at the Gold and Diamond Source. You can reserve your favorite piece now and pay in easy installments, making your holiday shopping stress-free. As always, we offer up to 5 years interest-free financing for just $84 a month when you finance $5,000. It's the only place to shop for the holidays. It's the Golden Diamond Source. 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Don't forget, the Black Friday sale at the Golden Diamond Source is on for their 40th anniversary. The first 40 people that buy a $1,000 gift card will receive one of their 40th anniversary gold sand dollars to commemorate the 40th anniversary. That's how Steve Weintraub got started. He was selling gold sand dollars. It's a great story and a great way to commemorate the 40th anniversary. Plus, they will still have $1,000 gift card match all day Black Friday. That means if you buy up to $1,000 gift card, they will match it, give you $2,000 in spending power. And on Saturday and Sunday, you can purchase up to a $500 gift card, and they'll match it and give you up to $1,000 to spend. I love how they do the math for you. This holiday, make sure you do your holiday shopping at the Golden Diamond Source, and make sure it's the Golden Diamond Source diamond, and it's a real diamond. Don't give her a fake diamond. It's those great folks at the Golden Diamond Source, Julie and Steve Weintraub, great local benefactors, do great things in the community. Keep it local for all the shopping this holiday season, and start at the Gold and Diamond Source. All right. We didn't talk about this, but because I didn't get the full story, but I saw the University of Florida Gators dunking on that Ole Miss basketball hoop. Like after the game, Ole Miss, I guess, brings a basketball hoop and they get a turnover. They go and dunk on it or do whatever they're dunking on the sideline. So did the Ole Miss people not take it off the sideline fast enough? Did they not get it in the equipment truck? Did Florida just absconded with it, was dunking on it? Like, that's awesome.
That's pretty funny.
Like the post-game things that go on.
Yeah.
The Arizona State thing, as we talked about yesterday, was just bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. But, yeah, you got to love that. And they really dunked on them.
Yeah.
Frankly. Like, that's
literally.
That was a very impressive thing.
That's a weird bit for a football team anyway, right?
Yeah, it is weird.
Goal. Like, I get the
How far are we
chains and the belt or a hat or something, but a basketball goal?
Yeah. Brent Venables says he spent his Saturday night at Taco Bell in Norman after beating Alabama. He and his daughter spent $94 on Taco Bell. $94 on Taco Bell. That's a lot of Cantina soft taco chicken crunch wrap things. It's like, why are like everything on that menu is the same? Like it's all the same stuff. It's just wrapped up differently, right?
Kind of.
Taco Bell. It's meat, cheese,
like
lettuce, pico de gallo.
I miss the old enchiladas, though, man.
The what?
The enchiladas.
The hell's an enchilada?
In the 80s and 90s, it was just like it's like a bean burrito,
An
but
enchilada and a burrito.
Yeah, but it's like
Which
in a
is, again, all
little
the
tray
same stuff.
covered with sauce and cheese, and you have to eat it with a fork.
I know a guy who can figure this out. He's the Bucs sideline guy, the great TJ Reeves, because he has two teenage daughters, so I know he spends quite a bit of time at Taco Bell.
Taco Bell is big on the list. I don't know that I remember the enchilada, but I do know the boxes. They've got the boxes now, and they have the Doritos involved for the crunchiness. I saw that.
The crunch wrap thing is legit. Yeah.
Brent Venables is what you were talking about, right? He celebrated the Bama win at Taco Bell. Man of the people.
How many daughters do you have to do $94 at Taco Bell?
That you do have to go some. He might have bought for everybody because you do have to go some at Taco Bell to spend $94 on the goods there. But listen,
here's the enchilada, boys. Tell me you don't remember this.
Look at you with the video artwork here.
I ain't gonna lie.
I do remember those.
That looks good.
That
looks really good.
That's one of those that we actually call a slider, right? Because it slides on down and it might slide on out. But bump slider there on a Tuesday.
That looks good. That looks good going in for sure. Absolutely. And like that's not even meat. There's no like it's something that looks like
beef in it. There's beef in it.
No, but
beef on the end of that.
Didn't somebody do like an analysis of the Taco Bell and it was like 10% beef?
Oh,
the actual beef mixture that they call beef.
I worked at Taco Bell in the 80s and I can tell you it was all beef back then. I don't know.
Or beef product of some type.
Why? Because you were taking it out of a ground beef package and
that's what it said on the
grill.
Box. It said beef.
It's on the box, right? Yeah. Okay. This just in.
They can't lie about that, right?
And they say I worked at a movie theater. They say that's butter they're putting on your popcorn. It ain't effing butter, folks. It comes in a big white tub.
Are you
and
just
it's lard? And we stick it in the thing, and then
to ruin what's left of my Tuesday and whether or not I'm going to eat anything by disgusting us further.
Oh, sorry.
We're just letting you know how we keep it real on this show, TJ.
Sorry, TJ.
We keep it
Hey,
real.
I have been told, I never worked in fast food like what you guys are talking about, but I've been told that if you saw how most of it was prepared, you'd never eat fast food from anywhere ever again. So we we disavow and just go eat and don't worry about it. And
I have not ordered.
Find out what's killing us later in our lives.
I have not ordered movie popcorn since. No, I will not.
I understand.
Nope.
So honestly, I've got about 5 or 6 minutes here because honestly, I'm trying to work out talking to Tiki Barber for something that I'm doing. Tiki was on the TV call in New York. So I got a few minutes here with you, but obviously
quick thoughts on ground level.
Give us some this.
That's ass kicking that you saw. What stood out to you?
Well, one thing is for certain. New York had no interest, especially after the first 2 drives of the game, in being there. So that makes a difference. Their offensive line, not good. And the Bucs, what I saw at field level, dominated physically with the defensive line, which I don't know how much you can count on for the rest of the year, but certainly that was a very positive sign off the bye week that you got to be one or two things. I mean, this is not profound. These are not nuclear secrets. Either you got to be great at rushing the quarterback or you got to be great in the back end covering. If you're not good at either one of those, you're going to see what we saw for the weeks leading up to the bye, where you're giving up big plays, touchdowns, key scores on key drives. So that was better. The pass rush it was there. Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea through the middle, especially. And the commitment, again, to run the football, Baker Mayfield on point. Again, I realize the Giants are god-awful, and they're probably going to get rolled again by the Cowboys on Thursday. But still, that was reassuring for the Buccaneers, and they all count as wins. I kept joking with you at this time last year. They're not going to put qualifiers next to the W's. It's not going to say, but you beat a sucky New York team that had benched and cut Daniel Jones. It's just going to say W. So take the win there. Look to move on to Carolina and see what you can build on. But there were a lot of encouraging things. Mike Evans looks healthy, and what a difference that makes in opening up the offense. But there were
Mike
other
Edwards
guys.
and Jamel Dean in the back end, to your point.
Okay, so that helps. The injury to Jordan Whitehead, he ran right by me coming off the field in agony. I hope he's back. I fear that's a torn pectoral, and if it is, it's probably the end of his season. So that hurts. But you're going to have to deal with the injuries and the problems down the stretch of the season here. Everybody has that. I was just very encouraged by what we saw. And one of the things I said, a plug for the Nothing But Bucs podcast, is all those times in the 80s and 90s before you got to the market, JP, and Timmy, you remember the Bucs were horrible for so many years. Lawrence Taylor and that bunch in New York had no mercy on Steve DeBerg and Vinny Testaverde and Phil Simms and O.J. Anderson and those guys would kick the crap. They would kick the crap out of the Buccaneers regularly. So I realize this is 20, 30 years later, but for the Bucs to go in there and have a game where they could have won 37-0 or 40-0 or 44-0 had they wanted to, that was a lot of fun on Sunday at the Meadowlands with the Giants fans streaming for the exits in the third quarter because they know the stench of what they're seeing from the Big Blue there.
The thing that everybody wants to know, though, the most important thing was your version of what you saw when Baker Mayfield did the time.
I was cracking up. I knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, the first thing that you were worried about, and I didn't have a great angle because I was at about the 10, and I'm like, my God, did that ball come out?
Right.
And he leaped in the air. I was moving a little bit, and I couldn't tell, did the ball come out? It looked like he got across the goal lines because the first thing is the Giants are running and falling on the ball and celebrating. They have to act the part like they knocked it out. And then I saw him getting up out of the corner of my eye. I saw him doing what he was doing, and I'm like, that's him. You know what the bigger deal? You love that guy. His teammates rally around that because that's a fun. You know what was the bigger deal that we should be talking about more, and nationally they should be talking about it more. The dude took off at the 5-yard line when Bucky Irving was going to the other end and ran 50 yards and is waving at Bucky Irving, come across me so I can hit these two guys behind you.
And knock the tackler off him. Great block. Got him an extra 8 yards.
Like bowling, he took out the 6 and the 7 pin there and let Bucky get a few more yards. And that is the kind of play that everybody rallies around. You want another example? I'm going to reveal something, and I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for this because everybody saw it. You know how much they love this guy? We were waiting to get to the plane on Saturday to go to New York. All right. And we were delayed. I'm not going to get into all of it, but The offensive linemen wanted to gather with Baker and eat on the back of a pickup truck, on the bed of a pickup truck. And they're all over there hanging, and there's nobody else over there except the lineman and Baker Mayfield. He has this team in a good way. Keep that guy upright.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, the way that he scrambles and hustles and makes these plays, that bodes very well for the stretch run of the season.
Yeah.
But Baker rolls with that offensive line. They roll with him.
They do. Loves him.
How many other quarterbacks, and even on the Bucky pass where he came back across the field, you watch the all-22 because I've seen it. You watch Baker Mayfield take off, and he's running 40 yards behind that play trying to find somebody to hit down the field. Now, you can maybe question the sanity of that and the health of that.
Yeah, he needs to dial that back.
But
we love you. We love you. You're proving yourself, Baker. Dial it back.
You want to play for that guy. And then that leads us to after Thanksgiving and all the food and the football and the fun and the family and all that stuff. We now got to go to Carolina. And they look like a different team right now. They have their act together. They can run the ball. They're pretty good defensively. So this will not be a layup. This will not be the Giants rolling over like Rover here.
And it doesn't look like it's going to be a one and done for Dave Canales. Thank goodness.
No,
like,
they are
deserves
improved.
Better.
Yes, they are improved. They've won games. They're playing better. So
Even with Bryce Young, he's winning with Bryce Young.
You underestimate that idiot owner. You forget who you're talking about. It's Dave Tepper. My God.
Well, I said he's earned to stay. I
could win the rest of his games and he'd fire him. Who knows?
Yeah.
But to your point, he's got him going. Yeah.
You are in must-win mode now, and you want to come out with another sharp start here. I mean, we've seen that time and again. How refreshing after so many years of not being able to do things in the first quarter, do we see a team come out over and over again, get a touchdown, get some momentum, get a lead? We like all of that. So,
well, tell Tiki I said hello.
Yes,
and I need to get him on my show soon. So
we'll try to make that happen as well. He's busy. Just in closing, everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Timmy, you JP, and to all of the audience, keep up the great work with what you're doing with the Rays Stadium stuff. Can I just say, for about 30 seconds, you have put on a master class. I bow to you for weeks and weeks and weeks about why this was likely going to disintegrate, and then it did disintegrate. You don't have to be, and I told you so. If anybody's been watching and paying attention, you have been saying it over and over and over again, what a mess this is. And let's hope MLB steps in and says to Stu Sternberg, there is a deal to be made for a stadium in Tampa, make it, or sell the team to somebody who will. That and make your huge profit and get out at this point. So let's see what they end up doing with that, but keep up the great work.
Thank you for the kind words, and well said, my friend. Well said, my friend.
Tell Tiki happy Thanksgiving.
We'll see what happens. Cowboys on Thursday, and then the Buccaneers on Sunday, and then we got Sunday Night Football later on in December, which may have NFC playoff relevance. We'll see.
Yep. That's
you boys be well.
Be a Buck fan. Thank CJ Reeves. Thank you for the time, my friend. All right, that'll do it for us here today on a Tuesday. If you missed anything, don't forget you can always get this as a pod. It's a pod each and every day at Spotify and Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. You can listen and watch anytime on Facebook, on Twitter. Please like and subscribe to our stuff. It really helps us.
Tell your friends.
Stay in business and tell your friends. Retweet it, get it out there. Share it on your socials. We'd love for you to do that. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll have a little best of show for you the rest of the week coming up tomorrow. So look for that to enjoy some of the great interviews, news-breaking interviews we've done in the past few months. So look for that. Have a great Thanksgiving. See you.